call the meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I want to welcome everyone to the school board meeting this evening. Just remind everyone that we are streaming this board meeting as well, so we'll welcome those who have joined us on the web. We'll start with a motion to accept consent agenda items. I have a motion by Pat, second by Chelsea. Any discussion? All those in favor? 7-0. Next, we'll ask if anyone is present who would like to speak to any item on the agenda or any other topic. Hearing none, we'll go down to old business. We have a bundle of Neola policies.
I'd like to make a motion that we pull out one of those separately. It's Administrative Guideline 1535.
Okay. I have a motion to pull that out from the bundle. Do I have a second? Second by Mary Lynn. Any discussion? All those in favor? 7-0. So we'll start with the other policies. So we'll start with the bundle of other policies, Neola, for approval.
So asking for approval of this group of policies and admin guidelines with that exception of 1535.
Entertain a motion to approve those as written.
So moved.
I have a motion by Travis. Do I have a second? Second. Second by Cheryl. Any discussion? All those in favor? 7-0. So now we'll go back and entertain a motion to approve Neola policy admin guideline 1535.
And I do want to mention there's one, that includes the one edited typo. It said the word firing should be hiring, so that will be corrected.
Okay. So again, we're needing a motion to accept this policy admin guideline for 1535, school administrators' involvement in athletic coaching, with that one edit in that section A of the policy. So we'll entertain a motion to approve. Motion. I have a motion by Chelsea. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Kurt. Any discussion? All those in favor? I have 5. All those opposed? I have 2. So next we'll go down under new business, under programs, enrollment update.
Yes, so I wanted to share enrollment numbers. We just finished our second day of school today, and today our enrollment was 3,476. We anticipate, as usual, that number will continue to rise in the next few days as we gather in some new students and those that didn't start with us on the first day. So that number compared to the end of last year, so last day of school last year, is actually up 2 students. But if you compare that to the beginning of the school year last year, it's down 111 students, which is comparable to what we have seen the average be for the last 10 years at the start of school. So I know that's work that we've done talking about demographics, talking about voucher availability, talking about different community pieces in employment, so that's not unexpected news. But we were pleased to see it hold steady over the summer and even go up some. So I'll keep updating you on that. I did want to mention this year's cohort of kindergarten is 240. Last year was 267. So this year's kindergarten cohort just slightly smaller. And our biggest cohorts are 7th grade and 11th grade, which are over 300 students each.
That item isn't informed. Does anyone have questions for Nikki? Okay. So another Informed Panther Online Academy update.
Yes, just an update. As of today, we have 19 students. 10 of those students are elementary and 9 are middle school. Just a reminder, it's K through 8. We are still accepting applications, and it's a little different. It does not start. We follow our online providers at Admentum, and they do not start until August 12th. So there's still time to sign up. And we did see an increase in enrollment last year after a few weeks into school. If they enroll into online, there's still in-person testing that they are required to do through the state assessments. We do provide tutoring for them and some other opportunities to still come and meet in person. So.
Again, that item is an inform. Anyone with questions for Carrie? So next we have JCSC athletics structure.
Yes, so asking for approval to streamline our athletic department with the absorption of the elementary athletic position. That's conversation that's come up about adjusting those job duties and titles. So we would like to adjust that to JCSC athletic director / JCSC athletic director for Mr. Hartwell, and JCSC assistant athletic director / JCMS athletic director for Leah McLeod. There are no associated changes in pay or benefits, just the job title, and they work together to redistribute job responsibilities. So asking for approval for that updated structure.
So I just want to clarify,
Please.
and we'll get a motion, but you read JCSC athletic director / it should be JCHS athletic director for Joe Harbaugh.
Yes. Did I say something different? I'm
I
sorry.
think you repeated. I just wanted to clarify.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we'll entertain a motion for these changes.
Motion.
I have a motion by Chelsea. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Kurt. Any discussion?
I just have some concerns about restructuring. Among other things, I just think it complicates the chain of command by making that change. And also, I fear that the middle school will lose some autonomy. And I know we have 2 athletic directors now that get along fine, as I understand, but I don't know that that's always been the case or will be in the future, so that change worries me. So that's the only comments I have.
Any other feedback or comments? Okay, hearing none, we have a motion and a second. So all those in favor? 6. All those opposed? 1. Next, we have the JCSC Athletics Handbook.
Yes, so asking for approval for this year's revised coaches handbook. This is the handbook that's used with all coaches. And so asking for approval for the minimal changes that are highlighted that you can see in the packet for this year.
I entertain a motion to approve. Motion by Travis, second by Pat. Any discussion? All those in favor? 7-0. Next, certified staff evaluation.
Yes, this is just an inform, and I'll be bringing it back for at the next meeting. There are no changes in the evaluation this year. We made several last year, so we don't have any new ones this year. The only thing is I'm working with the software company, the evaluation company, to make the scoring clearer for teachers to see.
Again, that item is an inform, so if you have questions, get with Carrie. Next, human sexuality curriculum.
Yes, I'm asking for approval, please. This is our annual sex ed curriculum approval. Just a reminder, we work with Clarity, and their program is I Decide for Me, Sexual Risk Avoidance Education Curriculum. There were no changes in the content this year, some minor updates in videos and worksheets that they use, but the content's exactly the same. Just like the evaluation, there were several changes last year. All of that, it will be the same. Just a reminder, this information is posted on our website, so any parent or community member that wants to see it, they can go to the website and see what it is. You have some flyers in your packet to look at too. So we do follow all of the state processes for parent approval. If anyone has any questions, they're more than welcome to reach out to me, and I'd be happy to help them through that.
So we'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Cheryl. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Kurt. Any discussion? I would just highlight one more time. The information is posted online if anyone would like to review that information. In addition, again, we follow the required state process for parent approval and student participation. So if there are questions, Carrie, they can reach
Yes.
out to, anyone can reach out to you to have that, those conversations.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I have did you have a So I have a motion and a second, so all of those in favor? 7. So next we'll move down to technology use update.
Yes, so I've mentioned this summer that we were working on looking at our student one-to-one device procedures and technology use. So I wanted to give an update on where we are with that. As we've looked at multiple factors, there's new research available on best practices with students and technology. We looked at strategic plan survey feedback from our families. We looked at the upcoming anticipated legislation. I think they're going to tackle school device use this year as well. And then we looked at our own desire to increase hands-on learning participation. And all of those factors led us to discussion points with strategic plan groups of administrators and teachers about putting some guidelines out regarding the use of one-to-one technologies in our classrooms. So I wanted to share with you what those proposed guidelines are, and then we had a staff survey for feedback on that. So I wanted to share some of that detail as well. So right now, we've talked about the fact with our staff that this is going to be an evolving process. We are starting with these guidelines in mind, but fully acknowledging they may need to adjust some through this year as we find that right fit. Right now, the state's still requiring all these assessments to be done online. So there is some reality of students having to know how to use the device to take those state assessments and practice those types of things. There's a lot of factors that go into this. But where we have landed right now is our kindergarten through 2nd grade students. We would like to move away from the one-to-one daily use for technology and move to a classroom set. So they still have access for that when the teacher would like them to use it, but having one assigned to them other than potentially a snow day or e-learning day. We're moving away from that. And then our guidelines are use of 30 minutes or less per day or equivalent to 2.5 hours a week if you add those 30 minutes all together. This is again outside of required assessment times because those assessment times would add to. In grades 3 through 6, we are looking at limiting device use to 1 hour or less per day or a total of 5 hours per week outside of those required assessments. And that flexibility between daily and weekly minutes, if you think the teacher's doing a class research project on biographies, they may have more of that in one day than spread out through the week. In grades 7 and 8, students using the device for up to a half of a class period daily, but that depends on their curriculum needs. Obviously, if it's a computer engineering coding class, it may need to exceed that. High school is unique to the instructional needs and curriculum of the course. Again, if it's a coding class, computers class, that timing is going to be different than if it's English 9. The extra addition to this then is that teachers have discretion for temporary changes for those guidelines for their classroom, for projects, special events, things of that nature. So we shared those guidelines and asked for feedback from our certified teaching staff and asked a lot of questions actually, about 10 to 12 probably questions on a survey of if we move in this direction, are you in support of this? How hard would it make this shift for you? How hard would that shift be? And then how can we support you if we have that change? And so I wanted to share some of that detail. Of our teachers surveyed, we had 97 responses, which is a very strong response for a survey for us, and 88.6% of our teaching staff strongly agreed or agreed. So high response rate of support. As far as the transition, although everybody mentioned, there's definitely things that come along with this. We have to think about hands-on manipulatives, calculators, things of that nature. Greater than 80% said they thought the transition was very manageable. Some of the things noted that teachers requested they'd want support with are more printed materials, so it's something we'll have to work through with curriculum. PD on student engagement strategies, different ways to engage through hands-on learning, and flexibility for special projects and classes, which we have built in there. So this is something that we will continue to work through. This is our starting point, and this is the guidelines that we're looking at this year and that we're starting to implement, but fully acknowledging there's probably some bumps along this road that we haven't considered, like ordering Desmos calculators, right? That may be things that we need to do. So it's a work in process. We well recognize that and shared that with staff and asked them to continue to share feedback with us. But we feel like this is a good step based on the information available to us at this time, which has changed greatly in the 12 to 15 years since one-to-one devices became commonly used. So we're excited about this step, and we're going to proceed down this path. So I just wanted to share, and I will continue to bring back updates and share throughout the year.
Again, that item is an inform, so if you have questions, of course, you can ask them now or get with. So next we'll move down under professional staff. We have some recommendations.
Yes, please. Asking for approval of the following recommendations. Ethan Hacker, NVE music teacher. Stephen Wells, Jennings County High School welding teacher. Richard Zimmerman, JCHS impact teacher. And also Richard Zimmerman as a JCHS volunteer assistant football coach.
We'll entertain a motion to approve those. I have a motion by Mary Lynn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Pat. Any discussion? All those in favor? 7-0.
Okay, and also please asking for approval of Jason Burton, Jennings County High School head football coach with a contract extension through the 27-28 school year.
Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Pat. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Kurt. Any discussion? All those in favor? 7-0.
And lastly, please, asking for approval of the additional recommendation of Travis Reitzman as the Jennings County High School head boys basketball coach with a contract extension through the 27-28 school year.
Entertain a motion to approve. Motion by Mary Lynn. Do I have a second? Second by Travis. Any discussion? All those in favor? 7-0.
And Amy, if you'd allow me, Mr. Wells is here with us today, our newly approved welding teacher at Jennings County High School. So Stephen, if you don't mind standing up, introduce us, if you will, please, to your family that's here with you.
I'm Stephen Wells. This is my wife Karen, and this one is my 5-year-old daughter Berkeley.
Wonderful to have you. We would love to be able to congratulate you on your new position. So if you'll join us over here, start with Mr. Eminger. We'd love to be able to congratulate you and welcome you officially.
Your daughter can come with you if you want.
You gonna go, Daddy?
Thank you.
Go so, Daddy.
She's moved around a lot. Welcome. Can I shake your hand? Where are you? Welcome.
Thanks. Thank you.
Congratulations.
I love your curls.
Aren't you? Congratulations. Give her a big hug, okay? All right, good job.
Again, thank you for being here tonight. Welcome to our team. What I would say about the school corporation and our team members is that we're a big family. So I'm excited to have you welding. Great. So next on the agenda, we have athletic department contracts for approval.
Yes, asking for approval of athletic department contracts for the Joe Hartwell and Leah McLeod under their new titles. Again, this isn't an associated change in pay or benefits, but asking for approval of those contracts.
Entertain a motion to approve. Motion by Cheryl, do I have a second? Second by Pat. Any discussion? All those in favor? 7-0. And then we'll move down under support staff. Let's see. Yeah, under support staff, we have a permission to post.
Yes, I'm asking permission to post annual Title I pairs as appropriate. We will not be making this determination until enrollment in it is in, and we know what grant funding would cover.
Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Travis, do I have a second? Second. Second by Cheryl, any discussion? All those in favor? 7-0. Now we have some recommendations.
Yes, it's that busy time of year, you
It
know,
is.
so there are a few here. All right, asking approval, please, for the following recommendations. Diana Adams, Jennings County High School sped para. Connor Ertl, Jennings County Middle School boys tennis coach. Renee Gross, Jennings County Middle School assistant football coach. Chelsea Fields, Jennings County High School sped para. Noah Henderson, Jennings County School Corp sped bus aide. Brittany Johns, St. Creek Elementary sped para. Sarah Jones, Scipio nurse. Serena Ritchie, St. Creek Elementary para. Grace Smith, Jennings County High School assistant girls volleyball coach. Charlene Sproles, Brush Creek Elementary cook. Lillian Stidham, Jennings County High School sped para. Sean Sylvia, Jennings County High School attendance secretary. Taylor Wilson, Hayden Elementary paraprofessional, and Jennings County High School Youth Football Program volunteer coach, Nicholas Yatsko.
We'll entertain a motion to approve those recommendations as read. Motion by Mary Lynn, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Kurt, any discussion? All those in favor? 7-0. One more.
Yes, please. One additional recommendation for Christy Sigler, Jennings County High School head girls basketball coach with a contract extension through the 27-28 school year.
So moved.
Motion by Travis, do I have a second? Second by Mary Lynn, any discussion? All those in favor? 7-0. Now we'll move down under finances.
Yes, have some board approval for the following donations. Brush Creek Elementary, Lynette England, Memorial Dart Tournament benefit, $3,500 for student snacks. At Hayden Elementary, Fidelity Charitable, $500 for school lunches. Corporation Level of Hope Food Program, and Dickerson, $225, and Christ Baptist Church, $300, and at North Vernon Elementary, NBIC, $85 to purchase items to tie-dye t-shirts.
I'll entertain a motion to approve those donations as read.
So moved.
Motion by Pat, do I have a second? Second. Second by Cheryl, any discussion? All those in favor? 7-0. The tie-dye sounds like fun. Next, we'll go down to the 2027 JCSC budget, first presentation.
Yes, so this is we're gonna be doing 3 of them. The first one's the main budget, and then we'll do capital and bus replacement after that. So the calendar, this is identical to what I shared last meeting, with our goal of doing the adoption on October 1st. All right, so the first thing we're talking about is the school budgets are set up in 2 different forms. You've got the education fund is supported by sales tax and income tax, estimating that to be around $31.7. And the property tax supports the debt service and the operations fund, estimating that to be around $14.6. And then we have additional funds that are supported through multiple grant sources. This is informing you of what we plan on advertising for the all 4 funds. And again, this is part of the requirement that we have to advertise. These are also advertised slightly high because you're trying to capture as much as you can. The reality is they're not going to come in that much. So education at $35 million, debt service at $5.85, operations at $16.5, and then rainy day at $1 million. The last couple of years we've done rainy day at $500,000. I raised that up just in case there could be some weird circumstance this year. And then, but the reality of it is we're going to be advertising at the 58 and some change there, and it'll most likely come in around 52 what we actually spent. This slide explains what the education fund expenditures you have, so what all those funds that we talked about earlier, what that'll be spent on. The only thing worth noting here is based on state law, the majority of this will be teacher benefits and salary. That's just a requirement that we have to live by. On the ops side, these are all the things, this slide didn't change from last year, but these are all the things that are covered under the ops. Next up is the debt service. Debt service basically takes care of all of our payments from the different bonds we have, common school loan, and general obligation bonds. No changes on that slide. This is the cash balance. We always show a 5-year trend of the cash balance, and you can see that we burned through roughly a little under $400,000 from 2024 to 2025. This is always displayed at the year-end number. Next slide shows how it plays out on the from a graph standpoint, and you can see that just slight reduction. It's very similar to what the amount of cash we burned through last year, so not a huge drop in cash, but it's dispersed slightly differently.
And I would add that reflects our staffing adjustments we've had to make to match enrollment.
This is just saying the rainy day fund was created in 2005. Our balance has not changed for the last 5 years, I believe, so we're setting at 2.775. Debt service, we're Currently looking at debt payments at around 5.8. This will be evaluated for the next meeting. It may change. We'll just see how this plays out. We're still doing some calculations on that. Next up is the education fund. This slide basically matches what the other one says. We're anticipating getting 31,717. We're advertising 35. Same thing to do with ops. We're advertising 16.5. We're estimating around 13.5. This is from a budget order standpoint. All right, so this is a little more convoluted. How does the AV affect our budget? So this is an example of what we're currently setting at 0.8172 for the ops rate. And this slide basically just says, okay, if we were to have a drop in ADM, how would that, or not ADM, a drop in the AV, how would that affect us? So our current AV is 1.2 billion, and this AV is the county's AV, not us, but the county itself. So from there, you've got a levy for our operations would garner about 10.1 million. If the AV were to drop, then our operations levy would drop by about 1.5 million. This would be a 15% drop in the AV. Now, I've showed this just to illustrate what can happen. What we've seen the last 5 years is our assessed value going up. That's what this slide shows. And the columns in blue are all static numbers. Those are guarantees. The 2027 is an estimate. That number will hopefully be out in the next 2 weeks, and we can change that to a real number when we do the second presentation. But currently it's anticipated to go up around 6%, which is our 5-year average. But we won't know that until it actually happens. This is basically another informed slide showing the correlation between, when the tax levy, when a rate is held constant or when the levy is held constant. You can see how the valuation changes the information or the amount of money you're going to be getting. Okay, quick update on the property tax. SEA 1 will affect how the amount of tax we collect in 2027 because deduction changes and supplemental credits issued. We're on our second sort of cycle of that. We saw a little bit of that in payable in 26. We'll see more effects of it in 27. Property values increase in 26 will be assessed in 27 for taxes paid in 28. This is just sort of let people know that even though you see movement, that movement takes a while to actually affect the school corporation itself. This is a change. This number has been the same for the last 5 years, but the maximum levy growth quotient increased from 4% to 6% this year. That's the first time that's happened since I've been here. It's been steady at 4% ever since I've been here, but they voted to let that increase this year. And then this is another note: if the levy rises more than the assessed value, tax rates rise. Local units, districts with tax rates above 2 are vulnerable to the tax cap loss. I will make one other note here. SEA 1 is also having a negative effect on all government units. And we're hearing that they're probably going to make some sort of adjustment to that in the spring when they meet. But this whole SEA 1 is just not an us thing. It's every entity in the state of Indiana. This is a calculation basically showing what last year's materialized to. We advertised it to 1.78. The actual came in at 1.19. We anticipate it come in around 1.882, I think it was. So slightly off, but not by much. Next slide shows what we're going to be doing for 27 based on the calculations, or based on the numbers we had on the slide number 3. The calculations for this would be that we will be advertising debt service at 0.52, operations at 1.46 for a 1.99 total advertised, knowing it's not going to materialize because it never does, but we need to advertise that way. The actual, we're anticipating coming in around the 1.968, and that's with the current data we have. That could possibly change on the second presentation as well. Next up is just an inform about what cap tax levies affect. And then last slide basically repeats slide number 5, I believe, which shows those are the amounts we are currently, where we stand right now, we'll be advertising for. And these are just sort of budget reminders. I mean, we're trying to protect the tax rate currently. The advertise your rate's high, you're advertise the low AV, and you adopt the operations fund at the maximum rate you can. Any questions about the regular budget? All right, next up is going to be the capital projects budget, which I've got right here. There we are. So on the capital projects side, the adoption calendar is the same. We got the goal of it getting it adopted by the 1st also. And on this slide just shows high-level summaries. In your packet, you got details about how these numbers came about. Feel free to call me if there's any issues there. The top line is sort of like the emergency spend. You're basically, it's part of the capital project plan. If we have a bus that gets totaled, this allows us to be able to buy a bus or a vehicle or something like that. So the intent is, I don't know if we've ever actually used any of this the 5 years I've done this, but it's still there. 27, 28, 29, basically, if you remember the way this works, the capital project plan goes in with the total of these numbers, and it's basically, you're saying we have the chance that we may have to spend any of that money over the 3-year period. And the state just requires us to say, okay, what is the reasonable things that you have on your list? So you'll see the detail of that in your papers also. And we update that every year. This will most likely change. And the reason why this will change, our facility assessment will be coming in. I'm not sure if it'll make the next meeting, but it'll definitely make the September meeting. And most likely see some shifts in these because that's why we're doing that, to make sure we're capturing things we need to. Any questions on the capital project plan? All right, next up is the bus replacement plan. Same schedule for it with the adoption date of October 1st. Now the detail of this one, this one's pretty cut and dry. 27, 28, 29, and 30 are pretty much set right now. This is current loans we have on buses we purchased in 24, December of 25, and we just purchased buses in January 26. So those numbers are all commitments. The 3031 or the 2031 that you'll see in your thing is where one of them drops off, and we anticipate having to replace a couple more. But that again changes every year. So you have to do a 5-year plan. That's pretty much what the state requires, and that's currently where we stand with all actuals except for an estimate in 2031. Any questions there?
Again, all 3 presentations that Philip just did, those are all in form. If you have questions, please reach out to Philip. So now we're down under operations. We have an authorization for the superintendent to fill position.
Yes, as we're finishing up some hiring spots we're creating and leaving over from title, I'm just asking for permission to fill positions without board action prior to August 2026. I believe we still have some cook positions and custodian positions. So if anybody out there is interested in those positions, please go to our website, click on HR, and look at those job openings. Asking for that approval.
Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
I have a motion by Kurt. Do I have a second? Second by Cheryl. Any discussion? All those in favor? 7-0. I think we're down under other.
My other is just to thank our students, staff, and parents. We had a fantastic start to the school year. So appreciative of that, hoping for a fantastic year all around, and thank you to all of them.
Hearing nothing else to come before the board, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Pat. Do I have a second? Second by Mary Lynn. All those in favor?